Today I looked up the definition of glide. Glide means to move in a smooth, continuous motion. My example of glide is sugar gliders gliding from tree to tree. Dizzy read 212 pages this week. Last week he read 20 more than that. How many pages did he read altogether? I used my number checklist to figure this out. Step 1. The numerals are 212, 20 and how many, x, the missing number. First, I started with 212. How many what? How many pages Dizzy read this week? There is the question mark here because at first I didn't know what action to take, but now I do. The action is to add the number of pages Dizzy read this week to the number of pages he read last week. The numeral is 20. How many what? How many more pages than the 212 pages Dizzy read this week? The action that I needed to take is to add 20 to the 212 pages Dizzy read this week. The amount is how many x, the missing number. How many what? How many pages read altogether this week and last week? The action that I needed to take is to add the pages Dizzy read this week to the pages Dizzy read last week. The first step is to find out how many pages Dizzy read last week. So I added how many pages Dizzy read this week to how many more pages Dizzy read last week than the 212 pages Dizzy read this week. And I have to do the first step because they don't tell me how many pages Dizzy read last week. Instead, they say how many more pages Dizzy read last week than the 212 pages Dizzy read this week. So after I added them up, I can move on to the second step. The second step is to add how many books Dizzy read this week to how many books Dizzy read last week. After I added those two numbers up, I had the answer.